You know that you need to eat more veggies, fiber, and protein, and every Monday you tell yourself that this is going to be the week. But by Friday, you've hit the drive-thru 3 times and you're sitting on the couch with a bag of your kids' chips because that was all that was there, feeling your pants tighter than ever. If that's you, if you're tired of that cycle week after week after week, then this episode is for you. Now look, I'm not saying here that you can never do the drive-thru or throw in a frozen pizza. Please understand that. Sometimes that's what's needed, or even that's planned. I do frozen pizza sometimes for Friday nights for my kids. What we're addressing today, though, is the chronic pattern of these things in your week, not a one-off emergency. And I think that's really important to distinguish, because what I'm not trying to do here is make you feel ashamed because one time you drove through and because something happened and there was a crisis and the easiest option was drive-through. That's not what I'm talking about. I've had that happen before plenty of times. I'm talking about the things that I did before I was able to create systems for myself where I was chronically last minute, chronically scrambling, and in a pattern of unpredictability with my meals. That's what we're going to be talking about today. I have 3 reasons why this might be the case for you, and also some things that you can do to change. And I apologize if you can hear my kids in the background. I have 2 sick kids today. Sick. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that there's air quotes. They're playing just fine and they're acting normal, but they got sent home. So if you hear a little bit of that, that's because I'm also a mom and this is my real life. You get to see it. Let's dive into these reasons. Reason number 1 is you don't plan well. You plan haphazardly. When things are low in the pantry or in the fridge, you go to the store. When you don't have anything that you can throw together for dinner and it's too late to go grocery shopping, you head to the drive-thru because you think it's faster. I have also fallen into that trap before, and I am pretty 100% sure that going through the drive-thru is definitely not faster, especially if it's Chick-fil-A, because I feel like there's always a humongous line and it takes us like 20, 30 minutes just to get through it and to get our food, probably even more. And it's not faster. And then you tell yourself while you're in the drive-thru line before you've ordered that you're going to order something healthy. I'm going to get a salad. And then next thing you know, you're ordering a chicken sandwich and you're stealing your kids' fries, and you basically had a medium fry because you ate that many of your kids' fries, but they don't count because you didn't actually order them. I have totally been there. So what we can do about this, not planning well, is to schedule a time in your week to do your meal planning and hold that time as sacred. It is a core need. I talk about this a lot on the podcast, but it's core. It's essential for you to be successful in your role as a mom and as a wife and as a human being that's trying to stay healthy in this world that is trying to drag everyone into being not healthy. That's the default, is not healthy, right? So some things that you can do about this is taking the time to plan for your meal planning every week. When are you going to do it? I do mine on Monday nights. That's when I write it on my calendar and that's when I do it. When are you going to do that? Each week. You need to plan your meals and you need to look at your staples. I talk about this in my program all the time, creating a staples list as a key part in building a proper meal plan. Because if you're not addressing the staples, then you're going to go to the store a bunch of times too. So I teach you how to create that. And an additional way to save time is to create a meal plan rotation. All this is a simple, repeatable rotation of meals that you cycle through. I have a glorious and magnificent 10-week meal plan rotation, but you can start smaller. 4 weeks is fine. And that way, you are not having to think about finding new recipes each week, and it's much simpler. One of the things, though, I've noticed about so many moms is the meal planning feels like an extra. It feels like, oh, I don't have time to do that. Like that's an extra thing. And the thing is that you'll plan like an elaborate birthday party for your kid, or all the things that are necessary for a sports tournament, or organizing everyone else's schedules, but planning meals that hit your needs, that gets the leftover brain space. After everyone else is handled, then you get the leftovers. That is really, it's a priority problem, honestly. It's not a planning problem. And the underlying issue is that you don't understand that you are worth this. And it comes out like the symptom is the lack of planning. But what I want you to see is the core issue is that you need to believe that you are actually worth that non-negotiable time to plan the meals that help you feel good in your skin, because you're going to be a better mom that way. So I think that is the underlying issue. The symptom is lack of planning. Let's move on to number 2. The second reason why you default to the drive-thru is that it is an option for you. You mentally give that to yourself as an option. Now, potentially, you grew up this way, and no shade if that's you, but you can learn new things. Your brain has the ability to create new habits. And honestly, I think sometimes the reason that we make the drive-thru our backup plan is because you've made it easier than the alternative. We have to make the alternative, the healthy option, the path of least resistance. Your brain is always going to choose the path of least resistance, especially if you feel overwhelmed. Simple is always better. And so if you can make the healthy option, the simple option, the path of least resistance, you are so much more likely to follow through on that. If you are driving home from work and it's 5 p.m. and you haven't even defrosted the chicken or have any plan of what you're even going to eat, you forgot to buy vegetables to go with it or whatever it is that you were planning. If you haven't done any of those things, then the default, because you're already hungry, is going to be stopping through the drive-thru. That's just what it's going to be. So what we need to do is we need to make the healthy option equally convenient if we can. And we do that through strategic, proper meal planning. When you have the stuff there and ready to cook and you know what you're making and you've thawed that chicken breast already because you set an alarm at the beginning of the week to defrost all your meat for the week, that's what I do. Sunday night, I have a little alert that comes up that says, look at the meal plan for the week, pull out whatever meat I need and defrost it because we buy bulk meat. So that's how we solve that. We need to create an environment in which the easy option is the healthy one. That solves so many problems. So that's the second reason why you keep going through the drive-thru, is because it's a default. The last reason is a little bit deeper, but this one I think is really true if you sit and think about it. So number 3 is subconsciously you are self-sabotaging yourself. Is that hard to hear? I think that a lot of people struggle with this. I know I did. Maybe you're afraid to actually make changes because you don't believe that you can actually change. You don't see the you that can actually consistently meal plan so that you can feel good in your skin. If that's you, if you don't actually believe that you can change, but if you're nodding along right now because you've lived this pattern of start, fail, good intentions, doesn't pan out, if that's you, here's what I want you to know. You do not need more information. Stop just consuming information and actually take action, okay? You need systems that work for your actual life. And probably you need someone to help you keep accountable to those systems. I have helped other moms break this cycle, and not by giving them meal plans, because I think that that is not the solution. I can give anyone a meal plan, but will it work for them in their unique life? Probably not, because a meal plan is based on me, right? I help you build meal plans that work for you, or whatever strategy that it is that you need to stay consistent with eating in a way that helps you feel good. Because that's what we want, right? We're tired of feeling gross in our skin. You're tired of feeling like the only one that can't seem to figure this out. Do you ever feel like that? You're done wearing leggings that are still kind of tight because you don't have any pants that fit you. You want to take care of yourself and get off of the guilt and failure loop. And I completely get that because I've been there. And that's what we do in my 12-week coaching program, the Fat Loss Formula for Moms. It's a 1-to-1 program. And you can book a call with me and I walk you through this process. This is not a cookie cutter, you self-paced course thing. This is you learning the skills that you need, and you have me, actually me, in your pocket to support you the whole way. Because that's what a lot of you guys need, honestly. You need that accountability. You need someone showing you that's been there, that's figured it out, how to make this work. When you're a working mom, when you have more than like one kid, not that one kid isn't hard, it is hard, but there's a whole additional element when you're cooking for a large family. And I've been there. I have 5 kids. So book a call with me. There's a link in the show notes. And let's make this the last time that you have to start over. All right, I want to recap really quick. The reasons why you keep hitting the drive-through instead of hitting your goals. You don't plan well. You have the default option is available is hitting the drive-through, frozen pizza, something like that. And 3 is you are subconsciously sabotaging yourself because you don't actually believe that you can change. What do you think? I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email at rachel@effectivefitnessforwomen.com, or you can join me in the Facebook group, Strength Training and Weight Loss for Moms. It's on Facebook. You can search that. I would love to hear what you think about this. All right, so your action item for this week is I want you to figure out which of those 3 reasons is your reason and what you're going to do about it. I'll talk to you next time on the Effective Weight Loss for Moms podcast.